Welcome, friends, to what is now season 2 of the CapmLew podcast. You can see that this is going to be a solo season. There's no better way to get started than by awkwardly strapping this little mic to my ungainly and odd beard. And hopefully the sound quality will be awesome. I've come to have my doubts about anything working smoothly, and that's not in a negative way. There's something great about just the rough edges of life. Well, season 2. So, as you can see, I do not have my intrepid co-traveler with me, Luke, and he is dearly missed. So, season 2, episode 1. I am bereft. I am bereft. All that I have left of my intrepid co-host for now is this sad, empty, dried out Zin package that he left here. That was his thing. Luke, this one goes out to you. Zinners only. And it's going to go up here for commemoration. My. So during this season, it is my hope that we will be able to cover a lot of topics and things. I have to go into work in just a minute. Love my job. The longer I'm in roofing, the more happy I am that I'm in roofing. It was always my dream as a young man to do stuff like roofing. So, lots and lots of moving parts. Today, just want to give a huge thank you to Luke Coffey for being my co-host for what I did not know was going to be season 1. I'm going to actually pull it up while I'm talking to you guys. The podcast is going to suffer greatly without Luke. You guys are going to be, you're going to be subject to the critical ADD-ness of my brain, and that means that we're just gonna have us a great time. We are. So I pulled up my podcast. Oh, guys, I did want to tell you I found something out. If I use the Zoom app on my new laptop, I can put up a YouTube video, and I can put myself down, in a corner, wherever, down here, and I can talk about pieces of it. So you all knew that, but I didn't. So last season was 109 episodes of stuff. I think it was 109. We ended on Sinister Undertones, and that's probably where we'll continue. I've been getting messages from folks who are wondering when season 2, when I'll start doing this again. And my hope was to take off January and start in February. Today is Thursday, February 22nd, and we started again. So technically, I have restarted in February. I'm nervous because I don't trust myself to make a good podcast alone. Luke wasn't just good at keeping me on the tracks. He was good at laying down tracks in a good direction. So I don't know how I'm going to do this exactly, but one way I'm going to start is I'm going to make these episodes shorter. I do have a few guests lined up, and I have this side experiment. You may have seen it on the podcast before, these Toddcasts I do with my friend Todd, who is a business guy. And I would like to make an independent podcast with him. In this podcast going forward, I'm going to be, I don't know if I've ever been indirect. No, I haven't. But I'm really interested in bringing in a lot more of my perspectives on what's going on with a biblical focus, Christian, spiritual, Jesus, because that's really the way I process life, and that's the place within me that percolates up a lot of the kind of thinking that you guys are experiencing. I've never not made that evident. But um, I'm interested in doing a lot more with that as I see the days growing darker. And so for today, I could give you a few thoughts, but I just wanted to greet you all and thank you for listening. Um, doesn't bother me that there are so few. One thing I did want to comment on is that um, I've been reflecting on the years I spent in the skateboarding industry, creating an alternative, creating both an alternative and platforming ideas. I was once accused by a writer for the Ride channel of being an ideologue. We've joked about it before. I really am. I really am driven by ideas. In fact, one of the things that kind of makes me me and is the reason I am the way I am, the reason I speak the way I speak, is because when I look at things, I am constantly trying to mine down into what are the ideas that are being communicated here? What are the ideas that are, and where do those ideas lead? Constantly trying to do that. Of course, there's a certain futility to it because a lot of a lot of thinking about ideas is like we're looking through a pinhole, we are. But looking through a pinhole and trying to figure out what's there is a lot better than having our head in the sand or just closing our eyes altogether. Navigation may be difficult with a small perspective, but difficult navigation is worth a lot more than no navigation at all. So, if I'm calling out that there are rapids ahead, it's because I figured out with my little pinhole and my little noodle brain and my little wet eyes that we should be careful. And if I say something's dope, I mean the good kind. And so but what I'm not stoked about is self-promotion. The content creator thing, which I'm in when I do these, is particularly unattractive to me. Um, I have not seen good things from content creators in terms of the effect that doing this stuff has on their lives. One commitment I can make to you is that um, I will not be able to pay attention a lot to comments. My focus is going to be a lot more on what I'm putting out than on what I'm hearing. Um, that said, I really do enjoy correspondence with the folks who have written in over the past few months and asked, when are you going to start podcasting again? And I've had a couple people, actually probably more, that are listening back through all the episodes and really getting a feel for what happened in what I'll call last season. Um, and so I'm going to keep this at a 10-minute piece just to tell you thank you and welcome back to season 2 of the CapmLew podcast. You can still email. It's capmlewquestions@gmail.com, I think. And um, thank you for being with us on this, me. And looking forward to seeing what happens this year as we do season 2 in this solo dolo situation. And I am on Facebook and I have Instagram and I have TikTok, but I'm not posting to them right now. I don't get the messages very often. So if you want to send me a Facebook message, that's okay. And I'll be here. I would love to get some questions from you guys and some observations and things that I could talk about. I have my own list, but I would rather do what you want in terms of content, give you my perspectives on that. Thanks for joining me this morning or afternoon or whenever you hear this. And I'll be back at you shortly. Thanks again. What did I always used to say? For what it's worth.